The race started in changeable conditions with a few spots of rain, and it wasn't long before Thruxton claimed its first prey of number 25, Neil Hodgson. Hodgson's lack of experience in the UK started to show, and this would be a problem on several circuits during the year. Meanwhile, his teammate Troy Bayliss was having no such problems and held the lead. The race was stopped after a huge crash involving Dean Ashton, 1998 privateer champion Phil Giles and Dave Heel, which handed the win and 25 points to Bayliss, making up for a disappointing opening round at Brands Hatch.
They had completed 11 laps as the red flag went out, and it was Troy Bayliss who was leading the charge as they went over the line, so he gets the verdict. Hayden in the runner-up spot, Chris Walker and Steve Hislop. Hislop's improving all the time. Reynolds, Emmett, privateers Young and Wood, 15 seconds behind Bailey. And round 4 gets underway with the pole position man, Reynolds on the outside line down towards Allard, shooting into the lead. And Chris Walker had a good start as well. It was a dismal start for the Australian Troy Bayliss, who went a little bit sideways, but he's managed to slot into something like 5th place. Hislop having a go at him. Paul Young going well there, the number 96 privateer. He had a good start. We're looking back from number 8, James Hayden, at the number 7, Ducati of Sean Emmett. There is Chris Walker, number 2. Ahead of him, Neil Hodgson, obviously hoping to do better this time. A 0 score for Hodgson in round 3 because he threw away a good chance of a good result, and with it the championship lead. But it's Reynolds, number 4, who wants to get away from that frantic fighting that went on in round 3. Doesn't like to be involved in that, John Reynolds. He's a seasoned rider. He carried a lot of injury last year and indeed the season before, and wants to go through the 99 season injury-free. The only way to do that is get your head down, twist the throttle, and get away from the action. And there's plenty of action in 3rd place as Bayliss is making a move on number 2, Kawasaki Chris Walker. We're looking forward from Reynolds as by goes number 25, Neil Hodgson, into the lead. So Neil Hodgson, a winner at Brands, championship leader coming here, has a lot of work to do, and he's made his mark from the word go and laid out his game plan, I think, Steve.
Yeah, I think he has, but this will be difficult now for Hodgson leading this race because he's got not the experience that the others have got from the first race. He won't know all the settings, he won't know what tyre choice to have made, so it's a bit of a gamble now for Hodgson, but he's a very experienced, very talented rider. And Walker has a look on the outside there. Chris Walker, and he does it. He gets through. Chris Walker, the long way round through the complex, through this left-hander now. This is a very difficult corner here, coming out of it. Seagrave corner, very easy to high side. It's extremely bumpy, but Walker's through there quite comfortably. And he's got, did you see that bike? It's wriggling around everywhere, but he's on the wide line. But he's got to follow that Ducati, the big V-twin Ducati, 996cc. Very much easier to ride in some ways than the high-revving 4-cylinder machines, but I don't think it's any faster here at Thruxton. It's all about this corner. And again, look at Reynolds there. Reynolds, number 4, the front end chopping. He's got to wind that steering damper up a bit more into the very fast Church corner. Can he get a run out of this up towards the straight?
Bayliss has gone through, up into 3rd place, and Reynolds ran wide there, and at Church it was Bayliss went through. It's a 6-wheeler out in front of John Reynolds now. These 3 bikes going away from him. Oh, dear me, through goes Hayden, through goes Hislop. The number 3, Kawasaki of Steve Hislop. The number 8, Suzuki of James Hayden, going past John Reynolds, who had such a brilliant start to lead the race. But now everyone, the world and his friend, going past John Reynolds at the moment. Reynolds, though, very experienced, a determined rider, is going to sit there and make the best of this for sure. He's going to watch what happens. A long race, 40 miles this race. Hodgson making his intentions very clear, having a look at the inside of Chris Walker. Walker leads, though, flicking it through. Through the complex they go, the right-hander next. Number 25, Hodgson in 2nd. Bayliss, number 32, in 3rd. These are teammates, they complement each other. Everybody's factory machinery is so superior to the stuff they used last year. Having said that, as Steve Parrish said, the race leader, Chris Walker, is on last year's bike. It's the devil he knows, and he's riding it well. Number 2, Walker. Hodgson, number 25, who desperately needs the win here, even though it's a 24-round series. You cannot afford to give away 25 points. A long season to go, but they all know that points are vital. That's why I feel so sorry for poor old Neil Mackenzie, who already, early in the season, has a mountain to climb. We're with Reynolds. We are looking now at the back end of Steve Hislop. Reynolds, number 4, tucked in behind the Suzuki of Hayden. Reynolds goes past Hislop, but at the front, Hodgson leads. It's Bayliss in 2nd. It's Walker in 3rd. Hayden in 4th. Up to 4th goes the Suzuki. Hislop and Reynolds right behind him, but it's a Ducati 1-2.
It really is, and this is more than just a race for the win. It's a race for superiority in the team. All these team riders really want to get one over their teammate, because that way they should get the best bike and the best parts, and at the moment he's Hodgson. 25 in it, but look at Walker. Walker has a look on the inside. He's taken the tight line that will slow him on the exit. All the time through this complex, you have to actually slow in, and fast out is the answer, because coming out, this is where you're carrying the speed. Now we'll see what's the difference in the Ducatis and the Suzukis through here, and I think it'll be the Suzuki that's quicker. We are on board with John Reynolds, and in front is that very, very fast Suzuki, but it doesn't look to be handling that well. He's running wide a little bit on the corners through this Goodwood section here now, and if you can keep it on the stop through here, you make up time, but you can see the bikes wriggling around so much they can't always hold it on the stop. Down towards Church Corner, this is where you need to carry the speed into the corner. The trouble is it's easy to run wide, and Bayliss goes through. Bayliss on the entrance to Church Corner gets through there. We're back on board again with John Reynolds up towards Woodham Hill. This is where you need to carry that exit speed all the way up the straight, but look at that Suzuki again. It's charging down there towards the chicane. Who can be the latest on the brakes as they come into this corner? And look at Chris Walker once again taking a tear off visor off. He seems to like the chicane one-handed.
He goes in there, of course, hard on the front brake, so the right hand's very busy, and he removes up visor with the left hand. That is absolutely fantastic. Ducati 1-2. Look at the way the riders also move their body weight from right to left. That puts the emphasis really on the inside, and it means they can get the bike a little bit more upright than they would normally, but in doing so it unsettles the bike. Walker's permanently unsettled, dives through into second place. Chris Walker splitting the Ducatis, fighting back Neil Hodgson. Hislop number 3 is waiting there to pick up the pieces. Hodgson does not even have a right brake pedal. He has his rear brake on a little left-hand lever for his thumb. The riders have different gear settings as well. Some come up the gearbox by lifting the gear pedal, others go up the gearbox by treading the gear pedal down. There's a mixture of techniques, a mixture of preferences, and it all basically leads to a good setup, the sort you're comfortable with. Hislop is very comfortable with Chris Walker, his teammate. He's going to have a go at him. It's Hislop in third. The two Kawasaki's second and third, but out in front again, the Australian Troy Bayliss leading the charge up Woodham Hill. That 10-wheeler has become a 14-wheeler in this frenetic battle in round 4 of the Motorcycle News British Superbike Championship. On board with Reynolds, going past Hislop. Neil Hodgson there about to come under the Reynolds hammer. No, but Reynolds has got Hislop, moved the Ducati up one more spot. Ahead of him, an equally fast factory Ducati. Reynolds number 4 is in 5th place. In 4th place, it's Hodgson. In 3rd place, number 8 Suzuki of Hayden wiggling its way through the complex here. The Kawasaki of Chris Walker going for the lead on the inside of Bayliss, but no, Bayliss far too wily. He took the win in round 3, and he desperately wants to get the win this time round. The Australian Steve looking very composed.
He is looking very composed. Here last year he had a torrid time. The bike was moving around too much. He couldn't ride it. He didn't like it. Back here, there's the last year's champion, number 1. Poor old Neil Mackenzie not having a good day on his last year's bike. He opted for that bike, but it hasn't seemed to have worked. But back at the front now. Bayliss, as I said, he didn't like it here last year. He thought the circuit was crazy, couldn't believe it, but he's now in the swing of it. He's in front. He's just got to stay there, because all the time when they come to these fast sections, it's so easy to get in the slipstream and use that hole in the air that the bike in front makes. On board again with Hayden. Look at that rear wheel moving as they go through here. We're now accelerating up into 5th gear, 168 miles an hour here. 15,000 RPM before he'll slam the brakes on. You'll see the wheel drop away. The big gap's there, and you can see in that gap Chris Walker as he goes wide. Walker's gone very wide. He's going to lose ground. No way can he tuck it back, and he does. Walker drops down into 4th place, and look at Hislop right in behind him.
That view from the back end of James Hayden's Suzuki is very reminiscent of being inside a shark looking out through the mouth. It's opening and closing, waiting to gobble up John Reynolds, who's right behind him, or rather, Reynolds hoping to gobble up the Suzuki. Look at Bayliss, look at Hayden. The Suzuki on the inside, but Hayden is brave and brave and brave, but not brave enough. Through goes Bayliss. That threw basically Hayden off the racing line. Bayliss has kept it very tight. Reynolds now is there, poised for an overtaking move, John Reynolds. Hayden has gone past Bayliss. That Suzuki rider has gone past Bayliss. Reynolds now hoping to pick off the Australian as well. And the Suzuki is like a rocket ship. Number 32, though. It's Bayliss closing now on James Hayden. Where is Chris Walker? Chris Walker is in 5th place. Alongside him is teammate Steve Hislop. So the two Kawasaki's are battling. Bayliss has gone past this Suzuki of Hayden, and so has Reynolds. No, he hasn't. Reynolds has dropped back. It is unbelievable, this action. Reynolds now looking for a way right, looking for a way left. That Ducati every bit as quick as the Suzuki, carries good corner speed. The 34-year-old Reynolds, very wily, very experienced. And there's Bayliss again in the tail end. Walker gobbling up Bayliss and Reynolds and taking two in one fell swoop.
Well, they're all just tripping over one another at this moment. You'll see what's happening. They're going into the corner side by side, and there's the top privateer. That's Paul Young from Australia. He is absolutely flying on the new R7 Yamaha.
There's a real confusion of lines here. Bayliss looking for a way through in fourth place. We got John Reynolds. There's almost a touch there between, and Reynolds is down. Reynolds is down. Did he clip the back end of Troy Bayliss, or did he grab just a little bit much front brake? He didn't know where to go. There was no track available for John Reynolds. His shake of the head says it all. He is disgusted, but still, Hayden is out there. Bayliss alongside Hayden. With him goes Chris Walker, and Hislop is up to third. Has to sit up a bit. Steve Hislop is really fighting back. What a tremendous battle this is, Steve.
Yeah, and this is the onboard from John Reynolds, and you can see there what happened. Troy Bayliss went wide, Hayden went underneath him, he had nowhere to go, he ran wide on the dirty part of the circuit. John Reynolds didn't touch him, he just grabbed a bit of front brake to try and slow the machine down, and at maximum lean there was nothing could happen but the front end slid away, and down he went at 120 miles an hour. A very fortunate man to get up from that one.
Well, the race goes on, but thank goodness John Reynolds is uninjured. It would be a real shame if he were out of any of the action. Alton Park the next two rounds, of course. But meanwhile, we're on the last lap now, and 5 or 6 of them scrapping. It's Bayliss leading. Hayden, number 8, in second. Chris Walker in third. Steve Hislop, number 3, in fourth. And tucked in there as well, Neil Hodgson, number 25. Up to the club chicane. Bayliss appears to have this one in the bag, but he's gone wide. He's outbraked himself. Bayliss down into second. It's Hayden leading. Walker's got the power on the inside towards the line. The Kawasaki's in second place. Hayden gets the win, and Steve Hislop almost pipped Bayliss for third. The result caption should tell the story, and it does. Bayliss got third from Hislop, but that was a very close call. Where did Hodgson finish? He finished 5th, so he got some points for his trouble. Mackenzie in 6th, improving, but a bit of work to do.